yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Brother and Sister Podcast. I am your host, Flava, and my co-host is
Tressa Mitchener.
And we have a very, very special guest in the house today, y'all. I would like to introduce to y'all Mr. Marlon Lee. Yes. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. I'd like to thank you all for definitely having me on the podcast today, and just look forward for a good time.
Yes, sir. Good time is what we have, and we thank you, and it's such an honor and a privilege to have you up here. So, I mean, jumping right into it, basketball, there's so many questions I got, my brother. So, like, starting off, you actually from Smithfield. Tell me, how was your childhood coming up in Smithfield?
As you say, born and raised in Smithfield. I have an older sister, Kim, mother and father. So I grew up in the Belmont section of Smithfield, which is the predominantly black section of Smithfield. But I grew up in that area where it was a tight-knit area. There was a lot of people in the area in which we had the village. So it was a tight-knit area where you knew your neighbors, went to church right there. And so it was a very humble upbringing. We wasn't the richest, but, we did what we had to do. And also we looked out for our neighbors.
That's awesome. And that's what it's all about, looking out for each other, because we kind of don't have that like we used to, and it's time to bring it back together, ladies and gentlemen. We got to look out for each other. And I've just been watching you. I mean, ever since I've known you, you've been, an uplifting spirit, you encouraging, you're always in a good mood, a good energy. Where did that come from? Like, the energy like that?
Really, too much is given, much is required.
Right.
And that was just my simple upbringing, within the home. Just always had that helping spirit, and I got that from my grandparents. Both sides of my grandparents, they were the helpers. Just seeing my dad do a whole lot in the community, being a helper, my mom. So it was just an acquired trait, I guess.
Right.
Well, Marlon, you just been a powerhouse to the community.
Tressa, why are you so far over? Come over some. There's a lot of editing in there.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Well, Marlon, you just been a powerhouse to the community, and I just can't,
a powerhouse
tell you
for real.
That's
how
strong.
Thankful and grateful that you came on a podcast with us, because you've been a support, an enforcer, all of these words that I can't even comprehend like I want to say what I want to really say. But you've been a powerhouse in the community for so long. And ever since the first day that I have met you, you have always had that helping and giving spirit where you want to empower the next person. So you have empowered the communities, the schools. You've been around and you have done so much good work for even people that you meet for the very first time. Because I remember the very first time I had to come to you when my son was struggling in the 12th grade and I needed some help. And you was that helping hand to jump right in and basically pat me on the back and say, we got this. I just want to thank you, man. You is so, the strength that you give and the aura that you give off to the community, to the people that meet you, is just a mighty force of God that I want to thank you so much for being who you are.
Well, I certainly appreciate those comments, and I definitely remember meeting you and your son back when he was having issues. And, as I say, we've all had those issues.
Yeah. Right.
And, being that educator within the school system, you kind of see what goes on, with those kids or whatever. You see the daily struggles that they have. And, I was just blessed and fortunate to be able to be in a situation, that I could, be there to help them kids. And you do your best to try to save them all, and you try to, just basically tell them you be genuine with them, because I had to let the kids know, I wasn't perfect either. So, but once you become genuine with the kids, and when they find out you care about them, they'll do anything for you. So that's just basically me in the niche, just being there to be able to support them, be able to guide them, and just let them know that, if you make a mistake, you can bounce back from it.
Right. Well, what made you that guy that didn't look the other way? Because we got a lot of people that just look the other way and allow that transition in a child's life or whatever, just go in that opposite direction. But you want that guy.
Right.
Well, and for me growing up, I had that support. I was born in a 2-parent house, and here again, I had that village outside of the house also. So, that kind of kept me astray. Being in church at an early age and just doing the right things. But so when I did get to Clayton High School, it was Mr. Jerry Smith who gave me that chance. He just passed away about a month ago, and also it was Coach Fowler. They saw something in me to be able to try to take care of the kids, and so 23 years later, I'm still there.
Yeah, but you took it and ran with it.
Right. Well, Gary Fowler, big ups, 89 state champion. I had to say that.
Most definitely. And when I first got to Clay High School, I didn't even realize Coach Fowler was a Triple S guy.
Oh, word.
I didn't even know that. But, and that was kind of an uneasy transition. Growing up in Smithfield and then working at Clayton High School because, when we was growing
back
up.
in the day, it was this little feud going on.
Yes.
It was rivals. And at the same time, us could get along. Like it was some that just we got along. We didn't have to go through that. And it was some that just battled every time they seen each other. But we always had that aura when we got together. We just had fun, and it was all about having fun. It wasn't none of the negative energy. So I'm really proud of that.
Right, especially as athletes anyway. Because I remember you playing. Against you. You was at Cooper, and so we. Especially as athletes, I remember you, Pop, Flood, everybody. We just had that competition. But outside of that, we were friends.
And on top of that, speaking of Clayton High, the first black head coach in Clayton High, and you got a lot of accomplishments like that. The first one that did something, like I remember, you went to St. Augustine's, 1997, the NCAA.
Won the CIAA.
So won that CIAA tournament.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So that's a big. So take me back to that. How was that feeling? Because I seen you cutting the nets down and all that. Take me back to that.
That was just a wonderful feeling. Matter of fact, this week here is the CIAA tournament. It's going on in Baltimore right now. Back when I played, we was playing in Winston-Salem at Lawrence Joe Coliseum, and St. Aug had never won the CIAA championship. So when we went there, we had probably finished second during the regular season. And matter of fact, not a team from even the Southern Division had won the CIAA in years.
Right.
And we had to win 4 games and 4 nights to be able to win the CIAA championship. And I ended up playing for my cousin, Coach Marlon Lee, who was a Smithfield native. He had coached high school basketball in Goldsboro for a long time. Yeah. And actually, I started out at A&T. Then I sat out of school for a year. I was going to go back to A&T, and that's when he got the job at St. Aug. So that's when I decided to go to St. Aug, and they had some rough years, and he made it his point that we weren't going to be the doormats anymore. And in this third year, we ended up cutting down the nets, winning the CIAA championship.
Made it work. And I remember I was looking through Facebook one day and I seen Wanda Grove, big up to Wanda Grove. She had put in there, vote for you for the town council, and you won. How was that? What made you get into politics? Just looking at you and seeing how you involved with so many different things, I guess it evolved into that, basically, huh?
Yeah, basically, I've always been that guy of service, wanting to do things in the community or whatever. And I'm so glad that you did mention Wanda Groves, because she was one that, she had her battles or whatever. She did her time. And when she came out, she has been my number one supporter.
Yeah,
awesome.
I always said, I don't take it for granted. Yeah. She'll be the one that come out and get signs and put them everywhere.
That's so awesome.
Encourage everybody to vote. But it was just that thing that, we had somebody that was in my seat who had been on the council for like 24 years. He was getting older, and it was really just time for somebody else to step up. And I had been going to some of the council meetings, and I just wanted to step up and be a voice for the voiceless, as you would say.
Let's make that change, Exactly. That's beautiful.
So
yeah.
Well,
awesome
you
deal.
definitely deserve that seat that you in. I'm looking forward to you going farther and greater. And you got my number one vote because I know you a person that supports the people and 100% for the people. And just like you said, a person of service. And just like Pug and you said, Wanda, you keep on helping him and keep on supporting and putting that support out there, because that's what we need. Because as long as we join forces like that, you can keep growing and growing and growing. And after a while, we'll be at the top of the mountain.
You know what I'm saying?
And as an athlete, as a coach, you talk about team, and team is an acronym. Together, everyone achieves more. And, everybody have their certain roles within a team. And if everybody can join forces and do what you do best,
that's right.
We can make this a better town, better city, better county, better state, better nation. If everybody's come with a team approach, because I guarantee you, when I decided to run for town council, this is definitely not about me. It's definitely not about Marlon Lee. And people just don't understand. It's not easy. I take a lot of hits. My family take hits. My daughter, she see things that are written about me and stuff. So it's definitely not easy. But, through the grace of God and, through my support systems or whatever, we're able to make some things happen.
It's so many like yourself, like it's so many others, and and it's just a proud thing to do for the world and also come back to do for your community.
Yeah.
They help to solve these problems, because there's so many people out there just led astray. But just being a part of the community, it's a beautiful thing, and just helping so many and being empowering others is a big deal to me. So I'm definitely proud of you for that, man.
Well, we definitely hope that you will invite the brother and sister podcast wherever you go, because we will support you and do whatever we have to do to keep raising up that flag for the support for you, because you're a man that deserves that force of support behind you, because we're witnesses of it. I mean, and this is nothing that we just making up. This is what we've seen for years. Right. Dedicated.
Well, I definitely credit both of you all, being brothers and sisters and being able to come together to be able to, have a platform like this, which is definitely wonderful. The wonderful setup that you have. I mean, this is great that you can be able to reach, millions of people, not just the people here in Johnston County, but people all across the world. So I credit you all for what you are doing. And I know this thing ain't doing up is get bigger, 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 and better.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, though, what gave you that resilience? Because you got to have some major resilience for all these years to keep that steady path, and you didn't waver. You just kept that resilience of steady serving and steady helping. And you hold
strong to it,
And your whole dedication and just the strength of it. It's like you got that foundation down pat. Can you help us with the foundation? I want you to help the people, us, to understand this foundation, because you got this thing on wrap.
Well, as I really say, it's not all roses, but just the little stories, even the connection that we have, that was what goes a long ways. Being able to, turn some kids' lives around, and then 5-10 years, later, they come back, or you see them in the store, you just see them anywhere, and they just say thank you. Thank you for showing me that tough love, and thank you for guiding me in the right direction. So those are the things that that keeps me going. It's those little small victories, but it's not really small, but because in the long run they can be big. So that's definitely what keeps me going. And long as I'm able to do it, I'm going to continue to do it. And I just like serving, just like being a positive beacon to everybody, just to let them know, here again, as I alluded to, nobody's perfect, and just learn from your mistakes. And I always try to tell, especially the students or whatever, 5 or 10 years, I want you to come back and I want you to talk to some of these same kids and let them know what you was going through.
That's right.
And that's how it needs to go.
Right.
It's kind of a each one teach one approach, and that's how life should be. It's together we mean business.
Together we mean business. Yeah.
Actually, during the George Floyd death or whatever. We actually did 100 men in suits downtown Smithfield, where we brought out men, also young boys, black, white, really didn't matter, and we just marched downtown Smithfield. And if anybody knows some history about Smithfield, which a lot of people do, and we started pretty much from the Neuse River. We marched to the courthouse. From the courthouse, we marched to the town hall, pretty much where we have our meetings and stuff. And then we ended up at the police department. And at each stop, we had some speakers that spoke. We had some people that prayed. And then to finish it off, we actually put it back in reverse, and we marched across the Neuse River, pretty much to the spot where that KKK sign stood, and we all held hands, black and white, young and old, and that's just to say that we'll put the past behind us, and we do need to come together as one.
That's real unity. No matter where you're from, no matter what color, your creed, no matter the nationality, we all come together as one for the common goal of doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing.
So,
and I mean, you breaking barriers for history. And that's what matters the most. That's why I'm so supportive. And if it's anything that we can do to support or help engage in these functions that you're doing with the community, we definitely all for it, because that's what we all about. And that's what we want to see is the change. And that's what I decided, that number one thing, I was never going to let my hand go of God, because that's the only truth, because everything else outside that is an illusion.
That's right.
And so I said I would never let him go, but I continuously want to serve and be that change agent. The change that I want to see around me, I want to be that change.
That's right.
But you was already in that field as being that change, because you don't understand the impact. And I don't want to keep going back to this, but you don't understand the impact you left on me and the impression you left on me when you helped that day, because I was like, you don't see people do that like that no more. But he was so open arms to make sure that we can take care of this, we can handle this. And this was the first day you met me.
In the role I was serving in then, I was a student advocate, and that's the word right there, advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So as an advocate for somebody, you got to be able to, and sometimes, against my own peers, own teachers, administration counselors, you got to be able to tell them some things that they probably just don't know. They just probably just don't understand.
Yeah.
So it's just all about being able to advocate for somebody. So once you can be able to get that through, and, once the kids be able to understand that you are advocating for them, the biggest thing they're going to want to do then is they not going to want to let you down.
That's right.
So that's big.
That's big. And when it comes to kids, all of them ain't the same. You got to approach them different. This kid might be from there, and this kid might be from the other side of town, and you got to approach this kid a little different. You just can't give up on them. You got to kind of know when to hold, know when to fold. I guess know when to just how to do it, because everybody ain't raised the same. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So that's with your tone of voice. Some kids can't handle you, critiquing them in front of their peers.
Right.
So sometimes you might just need to walk off with them a little bit.
That's it.
And so as you say, all kids are not the same. And, even as I coach, all of my players are not the same. So is there certain ways, that you talk to them, certain ways you discipline, but, and some can take it, some can't. So you just got to be able to find that niche and be able to move from there.
That's it.
That's right.
That's it. Beautiful.
That's right.
Beautiful. A pillar of the community, concrete and the mortar and the bricks, baby.
Yes, he's definitely a pillar. Say that one more time, Paul.
I don't think I can.
You can't do it again.
Mortar and the bricks, a pillar of the community. The mortar and the bricks, the glue that hold everything together, man.
Yes.
And you that guy, and I'm just so proud of you and so appreciative of it. And I don't know how to look at too many people and they be taller than me. Like every time.
Yeah.
Well, one thing about it, you probably got me by a year or two. too. So I'm always look up to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to look up to you. And I just kind of want to feedback on pretty much you said, as far as about being the first and stuff. I kind of heard this cliche the other day. If there was a guy going out in the forest, cutting down the leaves, cutting down the trees or whatever, I'm just, creating a path. I want to be able to create that path, but I'm creating that path for people to follow me. So, I just want to be able to leave a legacy, not just for me.
Yes.
So now, luckily enough that I got one of my young proteges, he became the first boys varsity basketball coach over there, a young guy named Everson Simmons.
Awesome.
He was a South Johnson guy. Matter of fact, we coached against him, and he never beat us, so I always joking with him, like, well, since you can't beat us, you come join us. But, this is his third year, and he just won the conference tournament championship the other night. So, here again, just leading the legacy. They won their first playoff game last night, so they'll be playing Friday. So, and I could just remember him in high school. He also joined my fraternity, so just seeing him, grow and nurture and stuff like that. So all about leaving a legacy.
That's right.
It's just a beautiful thing, man. And like I said, we're so proud of you, and it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the podcast. So, anything else you got, Tressa?
Just thanking you, remembering our logo with our slogan that God's promises created our purpose. Right. This man right here is definitely living his purpose for others, and I know God is smiling upon him because he's not living for him in a selfish life, because he has given so much. And I just thank you, and I'm so grateful and can never thank you enough.
Well, you're certainly welcome. Y'all are the grassroots sister brother podcast, sister brother sister. Just doing this podcast. So y'all are setting the bar. So hopefully it's some brothers and sisters out there going to see this, and it may make their relationship just a little stronger. Yes. They may not do a podcast, but they may start doing something else.
Right. So, that's the whole goal behind it, though, because like me and her, we as kids, we just went through so much, and we always had each other's back, and we just try to show other brothers and sisters. We see them fuss, fight, shoot, cut. Like, man, what in the world? Like,
and we the brother and sister that we not gonna let nothing come between us.
Exactly.
Right. We're not gonna get mad or point the finger or be upset about this or money or all of this kind of stuff that goes on in families. We just not gonna allow that to happen.
We can always work it out.
We're gonna work it out. Now he quick to tell me when I'm wrong. What I'm gonna do is examine myself, replay it back in my mind. All right, Pooh, you right. I do the same thing for him. He replay it, examine himself, because we need correction sometimes.
That's right.
And that's what we do for each other, is we try to correct each other when we're wrong, because I might have a wrong tone sometime, and he'll say, hey, you didn't sound too pleasant talking to that person. You need to fix that. I'm going to take it serious, because if he pointed it out to me, that's a serious thing. So let me fix that. I don't want to offend nobody or make anybody feel any kind of way. So we all working on ourselves daily. Right. So we try to help each other to work on ourselves daily, and we always try to stay in that positive path of truth, because that's what we all about now, is truth. Not no mess, not no lies, not no frustration and that. Just living a truthful life and being an example. Not saying one thing and being something different. No, what you see is what it is. If I'm saying I'm living for Christ, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to live for Christ. Same thing with him. If he's saying that he's doing this or doing that, that's him. But we never judge each other for how he's living or how I'm living, but we try to work it together to make each other better.
Exactly. You're just holding each other accountable, and that's what you need sometimes. Somebody to be able to, tell you in something that you may not want to hear, but it needs to be heard. So
but that's where you grow.
Exactly.
That's where you grow.
Exactly.
And everybody got to hold itself accountable. That's a big deal. If we did that, I think the world would be a better place.
Yeah,
we don't play the blame game. We
just
ain't your fault. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna admit I'm wrong.
Right.
And we're gonna push forward, keep it moving.
Yeah, everybody want to point that finger or blame somebody else. But when you point that finger, you got 4 more pointing back.
Point back at
You know,
yes, indeed.
but nobody don't want to take responsibility for what they did or what the situation is. It's always somebody else's fault. But you can't grow like that.
Okay.
You definitely can't grow.
So let me ask you this: if you had something to tell the world, what would you tell the world?
Basically, everything pretty much we talked about. It kind of starts with yourself, and that's just to the young kids. Believe in yourself. Ain't no dream too small. If you can dream it, believe it,
right.
and then try to achieve it. So, as I tell the kids every day, right is right. If nobody's doing it, wrong is wrong. If everybody's doing it.
Exactly.
And people are gonna judge you. But you don't have to fall through the narrative or whatever.
Right.
You don't have to fall through the narrative, and just be that team player. Treat everybody with the utmost respect. Because down the road, you never know the situation when you're gonna need that person again.
That's right.
So I tell these high school students, and while y'all trying to pick on this person and that person, I said 5-10 years later.
Yes.
But now you trying to go get that job, and that person is the person who's gonna be interviewing you, or you're in the hospital, and this is the person gonna have to try to save your life.
Right.
So treat everybody with the utmost respect. Live life to the fullest. Have fun. Have purpose, and I just try to tell kids, be of service. That's what Martin Luther King said. The world's most greatest question is, what are you doing for others? And not just to get a pat on the back, but what are you doing for others?
That's right.
And if you can live that life, life can be great.
That's right.
Awesome.
And you said the perfect word for genuine.
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 Got to be genuine.
Yep.
Well, you heard it first right here. Another episode of the bro. Let me ask you this though: who your favorite rapper between Method Man and Jadakiss?
You said Method Man who?
Jadakiss.
Man, I'm gonna have to go Method Man.
Oh yeah, to cow. Okay, you heard it first right here, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of the Brother and Sister Podcast. Please like, subscribe to all the channels. We love you. We thank you. We out. Peace.
Thank you.